Hello everyone, my name is Shivani Tyagi, your philosophy and ethics teacher. So today we are going to discuss a very amazing and great topic which I think should be implemented in today's life, not only by elders but youngers too. Why? Because this philosophy, this concept, this religion, this ideology teaches us that how we should be like calm in different situations, and how a person can have different perspectives, and we should understand their ideology as well. And looking at today's scenarios and world wars and different ideologies, especially when it comes to Indian society, where we can see different religions, right? Such vast caste systems, right? Sub-caste systems, and the differences that we can see. And to have different perspectives, it is very normal to consider that chaos will generate, right? Now, in this basically criteria in Jainism theory, which is Anekantvad, Syadvad. So these philosophies helps us a lot, right? Now one of the student asked me in the classroom that, ma'am, if Jainism, which talks about Anekantvad, that there are many sides of the reality, it talks about this, then why these monks have like different perspectives about reality? Why they are not following it? Then to this I replied to him that in reality and basically in practical life and in theories, these are two holds a very huge gap, right? And this is why I tell you, then don't only read these philosophies, try to implement them in your life. Make sure that you are not reading these philosophies because you want to clear this exam. Make sure that you are reading this philosophy because you want to have these philosophers in you and want to change the society, bring the changes in the society, because it is very much needed, especially looking at the conflicts that are going right now, right? Not only in India only, but in countries, right? There are so many differences that we can see. So it is very important to understand that one can have different ideologies, and we just have to understand from their angle as well, right? And by understanding from their angle, we have to accept their thinking also. And this is how we'll be able to live peacefully, right? Now let's understand what Anekantwad's theories says. So basically, it talks about theory of reality, which is Anekantvad, and Saptabhangya and bondage of liberation. This is what we are going to talk in Jainism theory. Now let's start with talking about its metaphysical background. So it believes in dualism. So basically these are of two kinds, which are Jiva and Ajiva. Jiva is soul, right? Living body, right? And Ajiva is known soul, which is not existing in reality, right? So all materialism things, that is known Jiva. Known materialism world is a jiva, and all the basically jiva is like separate, right? And apart from jiva, all the entities that you see in this world, right, comes under the category of ajiva. So this is why ajiva is considered to be of multitasking, right? There are multi objects in it, right? And it is called materialism, right? Then there are six dravyas that it talks about: jiva, pudgala, dharma, adharma, akash and kala, right? Jiva, as I said, it is living beings, right? Soul. And then we have Pudgal, that is Padarth, right? Materialism. Then Dharm, Adharm, Akash, right? Which is sky, and Kala, which is we talks about in time, right? Then we talk about realism and pluralism. This holds the views of Anekantvad, which affirms multiple aspects of reality. Now, pluralism is different from Anekantvad, and it says basically pluralism is more about practical life, today's life, right? There can be multi sides of, right? And Anekantvad basically it talks about the philosophy, right? So this is the difference between these two words, but they holds the same philosophy. So they are like different things, but holds the same aspect, right? Same characteristic. Now let's understand first what Anekantvad is. So Anekantvad is doctrine of many-sided reality. Anekantvad, as its name only suggests, anek, right? Many, right? Antvad, right? Side, right? And vad means doctrine. So there can be many sides of one reality, right? So every object has multiple aspects. For example, there was like six blind men, right? And there was elephant in front of those six elephant. Sorry. For example, blind men and elephant. So they were like six elephants. Now let's understand with example. For example, there were like six men, right, in front of elephant, and they were like blindfolded, and they were told to touch that elephant. And when they were touching that elephant, basically one touched its stomach and he said that it's looked like a wall. One touched his basically leg and he said it's looked like a pillar. One touched its trunk and said it's looked like a rope, right? So different perspective came to this. Jainism says just like that only. They were not wrong. Those six men were not wrong at all. They had their viewpoint. Whatever the resemblance that this world gave to them, right? Whatever the idea they generated from that perspective, from that viewpoint, right? From that time, right? They understood their knowledge. They implemented it. So we cannot say it wrong. From their perspective, from their side, they were right only, right? And this is how he explains what Anekantvad is. So it teaches humility and tolerance in knowing truth, especially in today's time where we can see such vast characteristic, basically ideologies, right? So it is very important to be tolerant. Now, just now we can see the chaos between Hindu and Muslim, right? As now Diwali period is going on, we can see the debate between crackers, right? Bursting crackers, banning crackers or not, right? And the one community is saying that we are being targeted. The other is saying that this should be done. Then this is the conflict that arises when we have different ideologies, right? So this is why it tells us that why Anekantvad is important. Now let's understand another philosophy of it, Syadvad and Saptabhangya. So basically Syadvad says doctrine of conditional predictions. In some respect it is right? So like in Anekantvad, we understood that people were saying that it is a trunk, that trunk was like a rope, right? So they were like different perspective that was coming up, right? So this is what they were saying, that through Saptabhangya, right? Through this ideology, through this philosophy, we can say that they were right from that certain perspective, whatever ideology they had, that condition, that predictions that came, right? In some respect, they were right only, right? Whatever the knowledge they were getting, in that respect, they were right because they were blindfold, right? And then they were given the situation to touch it without telling that it's an animal or what, right? They were told to touch it. So in their respect, they were right? So reality is many-sided and truth is contextual, right? It can have many sides, so we just have to understand that the person can be right also because from his viewpoint, from his respect, right, he is saying all those things, then there might be some sense to it. Then Saptabhangya means 7 modes of predictions expressing conditional truths. Now let's understand what those 7 modes of predictions are. Now for example, Syad Asti, let's take example of pot, right? So pot means that it is existing. I can see pot with its color, right? Its brown color, its texture, that it's round, right? With all the features, characteristics, I can see, I can tell that yes, it exists. Next we have Syad Nasti, that it does not exist, right? Only I can see in front of me is clay, right? I cannot see any idea of pot, right? So that clay is what? That Syad Nasti, the absence of pot, right? Then Syad Asti Nasti, it exists and does not exist, right? So basically you have this resemblance of pot but you cannot see it, right? So this is, it exists and does not exist. Then Syad Avaktavya, that indescribable, you cannot describe it, right? For example, there is idea of certain, like if a potter is there and he has idea of this certain utensil but he cannot describe it. By making it only he will be able to describe it, right? Then Syad Asti Avaktavya, that exists and indescribable, right? For example, there are certain things which is existing, right? It is in front of you but you cannot describe it, right? So that is Syad Asti Avaktavya. Then we have Syad Nasti Avaktavya, that does not exist and indescribable. Things which are not existing and you cannot describe it, right? For example, there are certain features of ghost but still we cannot define how exactly it is. Why? Because it is not existing to us, right? So you cannot describe certain things. Then Syad Asti Nasti Avaktavya, exist, does not exist, undescribable. It is the most challenging one, which has no features, right? It is not existing, it is not describable, and there is no point of it, right? So these are the 7 folds that we are going to understand, right? So now I have students who tell me that I get very confused, right? So you have to break these words and these should be like learned. Now how you have to break it? Syad. Syad means maybe, right? So it's maybe, right? And then we talk about Asti. So Asti means its presence. It's there, right? So this is how you have to break these keywords, and it is very important to learn these because these holds very major part in Jainism philosophy. Next we have Nasti. Nasti means it's not present. With its first word only you can understand that what these Sanskrit words are trying to say, right? Then we have Syad, Asti and Nasti. So this is how you have to break the words, right? So make sure that you are understanding these words individually, like in Avaktavya, which is indescribable, right? Then Asti, as I said above, that may be, right? So this is how you have to understand. So like there are 3 or 5 words that you have to learn and understand. Do not mug up these words, because once you start mugging up, you won't be able to remember them for a longer time. So make sure that you are keep on practicing, and make sure that you are putting it in a understanding manner, right? Because if you will try to mug up these words, you'll forget it very easily. And make sure that you're practicing it, because these philosophers, especially starting few philosophers of Indian philosophy like Charvak, right, and these Jainism and Buddhism, these answers should be prepared before with examples, with all the Sanskrit word. There should be some chart made for it, right? There should be chart made for all the Sanskrit words and the examples. So make sure that you're preparing it efficiently, because it is going to save your time. The answer which is should like we should be completed in 7 minutes, if you will practice before, then it will like save 1 or 2 minutes of yours. So make sure that you are practicing it enough and maintaining your speed. Whenever you are writing the answer, keep timer next to you, understanding which in what question, in what concept you are taking longer durations, and start working on that. Okay, thank you so much.